Fala, povo! Oddzinho longo, duração de 20 minutos, com 3 movimentos. Dumbbell thruster, toes to bar e double under. Tem algumas adaptações aí para a categoria scale, que é knee rise, subir o joelho acima do quadril. E pode fazer salto simples. Mas todas as adaptações dependendo da sua categoria. Se você quiser, eu vou deixar lá nos stories do meu Instagram, tá bom? Então vai estar aqui bonitinho, só seguir lá. Coloquei o tempo para ficar mais fácil para vocês visualizarem o anúncio oficial. Então é um odd de ritmo. Ritmo. 20 minutos de... Eu lembrei de uma Cindy. 5 barras, 10 flexões, 15 agachamentos. 5, 10, 15. 5, 10, 15. 5, 10, 15. Ele não trava em nenhum momento, mas a sua cabeça e o seu cardio tem que se manter forte. Se não, um abraço. Curte o show aí. Pode fazer suas perguntas se vocês quiserem aqui. Compartilhe esse vídeo aí, tá bem bacana do anúncio oficial. Tchau!
Off and racing for 20.2. The crowd here across the Newcastle going a little bit quiet. I think we just need to hear a little bit from them. There we go. Both guys having no trouble with that first round of dumbbell thrusters or the toe to bar pip.
No, and I think we're going to see this pace probably for the next few minutes at least.
The 20 minutes, one of the longer time durations that we do see at the Open. Khan making up a little bit of time on that set and dropping straight into that squat, not even standing fully upright, which we don't have to do. Obviously, that's going to pay off dividends.
That's it, and that's where you're going to see experience shine through with guys like Khan who have been around for so long, is they're going to know the little tips and tricks to just move that bit quicker and stay ahead.
Two completely different range of movements, Matt being a shorter athlete, Khan around that 6 foot mark.
Yeah, I think in this workout, the only time we're really going to see the height difference come into it is going to be on the thruster.
So keep an eye on Khan Porter. When he drops into that squat, straight in. And for those guys joining us all around the world, it is a little bit humid here today and heat really starting to play a factor. So these guys are going to have to maintain that as well, especially on the toe to bar. Maddie's got the wristbands on, the sweatbands on. But Khan's just chosen to go with the grips. So that sweat dripping down those arms into those hands is going to be a crucial factor coming into the later rounds of this.
Yeah, well, obviously chalking is time. So you want to not be spending time chalking up in the bucket. You want to be on the bar repping out. So both these guys know that.
So Maddie now just taking a 1 rep lead over Khan. We're about 2.5 minutes down. And Matt taking absolutely no time to get through that range of movement for the toe to bar. Khan mentioned earlier just about that pacing. He doesn't want to be pacing off Matt at all.
No, that's it. They want to be in their own game, but they also want to be acknowledging each other as well, not letting the other one get too far ahead.
Now at the 3 minute mark, both boys belting through those dumbbell thrusters with ease. Matt just with that very slight lead. I'll tell you what, Pip, this is going to get really repetitive really quick.
Yeah, hasn't it already? No, but these guys, this is going to go pretty quick for these guys, I think. We're already over 3 minutes in. I think once they're past that 10-minute mark, they're going to have to put the foot on the gas and keep that pace up.
Khan mentioned earlier, we're chatting to him off screen, that he went out a little bit hot on the first round of 20.1 last week. He doesn't want to make that same mistake again.
Yeah, definitely. And Khan's very good at pacing as well. He's definitely an athlete that we see pace smartly, so he's definitely going to be using that strategy here today.
4 minutes down already. I should say already, probably not for these guys. but keeping your focus dialed in for the entire 20 minutes is going to be a tough ask for these guys, let alone everyone else in the world.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you're going unbroken in all the movements, it's just trying to find that rhythm, stay calm, keep your breathing nice and steady, and not get too panicked on one movement. But for those of us who are mere mortals at home that might struggle with our double unders a little more, that's going to change it up a little bit as well, you know.
And you mentioned it before about the 15-minute time cap last week and how some people weren't anywhere close to that, but some people were just asking for that 15 minutes to hit. This 20 minutes is going to take a very long time to eventually tick over.
It is, and for some people the weight itself is going to be quite heavy, so they're going to be spending the time on the dumbbells, or they're going to be spending the time trying to get their 24 double unders out each round. So we're going to see very different workouts for all different fitness levels with this workout, and I think that's what's great about these movements too.
Now we've just hit the 5-minute mark. Matt now with a 13-rep lead over Carl Porter. Matt moving through these, round 1 looking exactly like round 5. And Khan just with that extra height that he's got, a little bit longer to get that range of movement from behind that plane of the bar all the way to the top. But doing very well because his double unders are actually a little bit quicker than Matty's, so he is making up a little bit of time on the doubles.
Yeah, well, this workout is in Matty's wheelhouse with your toes to bar and your thrusters. So we expect to see Matt moving a bit faster than Khan on those movements.
One of the benefits of not having any background music in the workout today is to hearing how heavily they are breathing.
It's brutal. It's just a testament to these two that they can switch off and just get it done and not need that music. But damn copyright laws.
And the air is just so thick here today because it is a very hot day here in Newcastle. On the eastern side of Australia, so a couple of hours north of Sydney for those of you tuning internationally.
Yes, it's actually a little bit cooler here today than it was yesterday, so these boys are lucky. So Matt just getting that little bit further ahead than Khan. Khan copping a no rep on the toes to bar.
So Khan just seems to have dropped into a little bit of a slower pace. And as you mentioned, once we do hit that halfway point of the time cap, these guys are going to have to speed up. So maybe conserving a little bit of energy before that does happen.
Yeah, definitely just staying mindful that you're in the middle of it and that you know you're going to need a little bit of juice at the end to push past into that last few minutes.
So coming up to the 7.5-minute mark, it feels like they have been going for 20 minutes already. We're talking about dark places. Last week in 20.1, a lot of people had to go to that dark place. This is just going to be an absolute grind.
Yeah, definitely. So if these movements are something for you that is quite easy at home and the weight's not a big problem, then it's just going to be a matter of making sure that those reps are clean, but getting into that dark place and just going with it for 20 minutes.
Matty Mcleod now 40 reps ahead.
And we're 8 minutes down in this workout, so we're almost halfway.
Matty now playing a little bit of catch-up now onto Khan. Spare a thought for the judges having to count this many double unders as well.
At least they're in small sets for this one.
8.5 minutes down, so 90 seconds till that halfway point. Matt Mcleod pulling ahead, backing up what he did at the CrossFit Games earlier this year. A 7th place finish and 2 event wins.
Yeah, Matt was the name on everyone's thoughts, I think, over the games. Is who is this guy? Where did he come from?
But 2 event wins on 2 completely different events, swimming and a sled push and bar muscle up. So you probably couldn't get polar opposites for movements, but getting 2 event wins at your first CrossFit Games, you're doing okay.
Oh, definitely.
Not too far away from the halfway point of 20.2 for those just joining us. 4 dumbbell thrusters, 6 toe to bar, 24 double unders with a 20-minute time cap. 50 and 35 pounds for the dumbbell weight, or 22.5 or 15 kilos.
So for those of us at home that are going to be scaling this workout, the weight's going to be 20 pounds each hand for the women and 35 pounds each hand for the men. So that's 15 kilos if you're on the metric system, and just about around that 10 kilo mark, 10, 12 kilos. I don't know pounds.
The 2.2 conversion. As we hit the 10-minute mark of 20.2, Matt Mcleod now into his 15th round. Khan still on his 14th. So to give you an idea of what the score sheet looks like, there is 30 rounds on the score sheet.
So on our 30th round, if you finish 30 rounds, that's 1,020 reps.
And Matt Mcleod not too far getting to that halfway point. Matt now only 3 reps behind Khan. We have got 9 minutes left remaining. 20.2. This is where the grind starts to really kick in.
Yeah, this back end is definitely going to start to hurt.
Pulling a level pegging now. Khan just getting an early start. Keep in mind, Khan 1 full round behind Matty Mcleod. And the Open's really where it starts for the lead up to the CrossFit Games. You tick that box off very early in the season with one of those top 20 spots. The planning of your whole season for the CrossFit Games gets very, very easy.
Yeah, and I think we've definitely seen that in the last season with the breakout new format. We saw some athletes, we didn't see them until the Games from the Open. And then there was other athletes that were at every single sanctional. So it's definitely going to be interesting now with the Open being in October, coming into the 2020 season, to see who's around and who's doing what.
2 Opens this year. We will go back into this format next year, but we are not obviously going to do 2 Opens. Just the Open in October, November, every year from now on in, to pull things in line. But really tough turnaround for some of these athletes that have just competed at the CrossFit Games. They turn around 6 weeks later and they're doing the Open again.
Yeah, definitely. And I think some of them are definitely going to thrive off that. Having something to focus on straight away might actually work in their favour. Some of them might actually need to take it a little easier in the Open if they've still got any niggles or injuries coming off the Games. So I think we're definitely going to see that.
Matt Mcleod now starting round 18, believe it or not. They are chewing through these rounds. Rep scheme's not very high, obviously, but trying to maintain that pace. The toughest thing, Matty, just a little bit of a slip. There's 7 minutes remaining for Matt Mcleod and Khan Porter. Can't wait to interview them afterwards.
That's if they can talk after this. I don't think Matt's not usually very good with his words at the best of times, let alone after doing 1,000 odd reps.
We might get some one-word answers afterwards.
Yeah.
Both boys breathing very heavily now. The fatigue level on the thrusters doesn't seem to be an issue.
No, it doesn't. And Khan just copped a no rep there for his depth, so good to see we're keeping the standard. If you're following along at home and you're going to be scaling this workout later today, you're going to be doing hanging knee raises instead of toes to bar and single unders instead of double unders.
14 minutes down, 6 minutes remaining of 20.2. And what a corker it is.
I'm sweaty just watching these two.
Out of breath as well. Matty starting his 20th round. Matty to the left of screen, Campo to the right of screen.
So hitting the 20th round, and we're over halfway through the workout now. So I don't think we're going to see him hit 30 rounds on this attempt at least, but that's if he's going to do another attempt.
I'm going to throw a bold prediction out there and say that a few people are going to be clearing this score sheet.
Yeah. I feel like that's a good aim to have if you're one of the top athletes in the world. It'd be to be filling out 2 score sheets.
The last 5 minutes of 20.2 awaits us. Matty still looking very comfortable. Round 21 for Matt Mcleod. Khan starting at around 20. And the only chance these guys have got to rest or to have a break is the double unders. So breathing has got to come into play when you are doing the double unders.
Yeah, definitely. And staying nice and relaxed too, trying to relax the arms as much as possible and not be really tight through the biceps, because obviously going from a double under to a thruster, if you're squeezing that rope too tight, it's definitely going to hurt on the thruster. So you'll see both boys are really trying to relax the upper body a little bit.
Just over 4 minutes remaining, Matt Mcleod, round 22. Matty just taking a quick breather. That's the first time I've seen him break the entire 16 and a half minutes. Round 23 for Matt Mcleod, and yes, you see that right, 750 reps on the screen. Still unbroken as we expected with those short rep schemes.
Yeah, those toaster bar haven't really changed pace the whole way through for Matty.
The good news for those guys that are doing the open or in a scaled capacity, these rep schemes are low enough that some people are actually going to be able to get their first total bar.
Yeah, definitely. And that's what's so great about the open at the grassroots level, is that we do get to see our members thrive and do things that they might not necessarily do in a regular class setting. Just a little bit of extra encouragement and adrenaline definitely helps.
2.5 minutes now remaining. Crowd knows how busted up these guys are.
Yeah, and I already know by looking at some of them that are going to come back tonight and do this workout that they're going to be, one, inspired by these two guys, but also terrified at how much it looks like it hurts.
That's all I can see, Pete. There's a lot of fear. One minute remaining. .90 seconds remaining now. 1 minute and a half of pain for these guys to go through. Just over 1 minute now remaining. Maddie continuing on. Can he get to 950 reps?
And we're down to that last 60 seconds.
Maddie Mcleod on to round 26. Can he get another round complete before time cap hits?
That fatigue's really kicked in now.
.880 reps for Matt Mcleod. The last 30 seconds of 20.2. Well, these guys are going to be very happy to finish.
Khan pushing.
Really getting behind him now. The last 10 seconds, 20.2, not too far away. Matt Mcleod, a dominant performance. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, 20.2.